What's up everybody? I'm gonna teach you how to paint this painting in a few short, simple steps coming right up. Alright, so for our first step, we're gonna go ahead and do something very quick and easy, but it's super vital to start off with your canvas just like this. So we've got our plain canvas right here. We are gonna paint this entire thing black, just plain black. So I'm gonna take my plain black acrylic paint, a nice big brush will do, and we're gonna just cover this nice and quickly. So you can see it's going real fast and we're making it happen real quick and easy, super simple step. Alright, so before I get started on this painting here, I decided I'm going to flip this over and do it vertically here. I just wanted to try something new. Now what I'm also doing is letting this black paint dry off as best as I can, as quick as I can. That means you can pick up your canvas, you can, wave yourself off or whatever, or anything like that, give yourself air conditioning, you can blow it off. Whatever you need to do to try to get this canvas as dry as possible, and then we're gonna start this thing up. All right, there you go. All right, so we're gonna get started on this painting here. So I've got my black, it's nice and dry. The back is just, it's looking good. You're more than welcome to paint your edges too. I leave that up to you if you wanna do that. So we're gonna be starting off with this galaxy, and what we gotta do is, since it's black, we're just adding highlights right on top of it. So I've got my plate, I've got plain white right here, and I've got a dry medium brush. Okay, so this is gonna be, I want you to think imperfection. I want you to just kind of think just very random, but I want you to put a little bit of white paint on your brush, and just a little bit. I want you to just kind of just taper it off into your plate and just use a tiny bit of this white. I want it to kind of almost be just, it's kind of drying off on your plate a little bit, okay? Now when we touch the canvas here with this white, I want you to kind of blot or dab very randomly and stretch some of this white out as far as you can go without putting any white on your brush, all right? Any more white, I should say. All right, so look at this. What you're doing is adding some highlights into this very vast, dark space and sky, and we're breaking it up. We're adding these like little clouds. Now it's gonna turn a little bit light gray, dark gray on you, no big deal. But what you're doing is you're just creating some separation and making some new lights happen to this. Now, of course, once you run out of paint, I'm gonna put some more right on top of there and just keep it going and break it up even more. Go ahead and work on this step. You still wanna see some black, you still wanna see some separation between the two, but you definitely want to at least add some of these awesome looking clouds. Go ahead and work on that. All right, so you see some separation. We've got that kind of cool, cloudy, misty kind of look happening with our clouds there, or our space clouds in our sky. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that same brush you were using, that medium-sized brush, and still some plain white. We're gonna change this up a little bit. Now this is one of the few times that I say it's okay to water down your actual paint. We're gonna go ahead and take that brush, dip it in some water. Okay, I've got and then I'm gonna go ahead and just take some of this paint and just water a little bit of it down. I'm just gonna water a little bit of it down. All right. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add, so you can see it's got some fluidity to it. Now this is the fun part. This is where your fingers get a little bit artistic. Put my plate down, and I'm gonna stay about a little bit, maybe like a few inches away from my canvas, but I'm gonna start flinging and flicking some of this paint. And this is gonna create some stars, some galaxy stars, right on to the painting. It's really coming out awesome now. All right, so let's go over what we've done so far. We started off painting entire canvas black, just plain black, to give it that really dark effect. Then we took our medium-sized brush, started dabbing, blotting a little bit of white, just a little bit, just to kind of map out where we want this galaxy to show up. Then we flick some stars and made it a little bit random with that plain white as well. Now we've given it a little chance to dry off. Let's add our color onto this galaxy. So I'm adding 2 more colors to my plate. As you can see, I've added red and blue. We're going to go ahead and make a nice light pink to start off with here. So we're going to go ahead and take some red. I've got a big brush, and I'm going to put some red into that white, and look at that just change right away to a nice light pink. All right, if everybody's got their nice light pink, you're going to go ahead and start blotting or dabbing some of that nice light pink right over the bottom parts here. We're going to start working on the bottom parts of our clouds, right on top. All right, right on top, you're going to just add some of that awesome bright pink, and it is going to change the texture. It's going to look really, really pretty with this color starting to happen. And we're going to do this light pink across the bottom, and just start off with that color. Now, if you needed a little bit more pink, you just add a little bit more red right in your brush there, and you just mix it on in. All right, I'm adding more pink. This galaxy is going to be a real pretty color. Wow. I'm keeping some of that black showing just to show off some of the space too. All right, now as I move up, I'm going to add a little bit more red on my brush, and it's going to create a darker pink as we go up. Again, I'm just blotting, dabbing, taking a little bit of paint off my brush at a time. All right, I'm moving on up here with some more. And about midway is where we're going to start seeing a color shift. I'm going to start seeing it change just a little bit. So get ready for that. Got some real pretty colors just starting to happen there. Nice, nice. There you go. And we can always go back and add lowlights later on too. If you see you've got like, I got too many of these clouds, too much color, whatever, no worries. We can just go back and fix that. That's not a big deal at all. But what we're going to do now is we're going to start doing a color shift. All right, what does that mean? We're going to start adding some blue on our brush. We're going to start up here with plain blue. Now, I've got the same brush. I just wiped it off a little bit, and so there might be a little bit of that pink still on there, but no big deal. And as you can see, the reason why we added that white first is to really let this color pop off the canvas. Now, you're more than welcome to just put plain color right on here, but I just wanted to show you visually how you can make it pop a little bit more. I'm going to bring some of this blue down, and as it meets, it's going to kind of come into your pinks and really create this awesome effect. Now, we did this just to show off and showcase color, and really just give you an idea on how to make a nice simple galaxy. Okay, got those kind of galaxy clouds happening in your space. And like I said, you're more than welcome to go back and say, hey, you know what, I have too much on there. I want to add a little bit more space. You just go ahead and put some more black on there. I'm going to use the same brush that I've been using. Watch this. I'm just going to add black, and I'm going to add some separation now between, and get rid of maybe some of those brighter places and add a little bit more space. What this does is by adding some of the black, it actually creates some small lowlights in your galaxy. It's pretty cool effect. I'm just separating some of the areas here and adding a little bit more. Don't worry, we're not done after this. We got a couple more steps and we can showcase this thing off here. See, I'm adding some more down here. And what it does, it gives the effect that those clouds are fizzling off into space. Fizzling. So just a really fun step. All right. Perfect. Now it's okay, if you want to add a little bit more black, you can. If you want to go add a little bit more color, I leave that entirely up to you. We're going to add some more stars right after this. Okay, so now I'm done with my little clouds here. What I'm going to do is just take that medium brush and I'm going to flick some more stars on here. I'm going to go ahead and brighten this thing back up with some more galaxy stars. And again, I'm just taking my brush and flicking it a couple inches away and very randomly adding little areas of these stars. Okay. You want to get like a kind of good even coverage of that. Now, once you've done the flicking, you can also take a small brush and you can add some little dots yourself. You can add these little individual stars. Let's take a smaller brush, plain white, and if you want to add some larger stars, you're more than welcome to. And find a brush you feel comfortable making some finer lines with, and also a medium-sized brush, because we're going to add a nice silhouette right in front of this galaxy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put some plain black on my brush, and I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to start making a little bit of land. Now you are going to be covering up a little bit of your actual painting that you already did, so if you messed up down there, that's all right. We're going to put some plain black right over it. That'll cover it up real quickly. What we're doing is we're creating a little bit of a silhouette here. And we're just adding some bumps and random things in our little bit of land. Now you're more than welcome to add maybe some little spikes going up or something, or little rocks maybe happening, formations, things like that to change it. And you can see it. There are some natural highlights on it because we're still letting some of that dry up above. But don't worry, that paint is still drying. And this is a great step to just kind of get a feel for this paint again. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some awesome palm trees going right over this galaxy. Just a really impactful thing. So take a deep breath, and we're going to use your brush that you feel comfortable making fine lines with. And we're going to go ahead and add a line going right up into the sky. And you can see this palm tree is coming up. And I've made the bottom of it a little bit thicker than the rest of the trunk. And I'm just going to go ahead and outline it here so you can see a little bit better. And it's okay if there's little imperfections, no big deal. That's what nature does. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just make this a little bit more bolder so you can see this. Okay. Now we can go ahead and we can make another one happen right here. Take a look, we got another guy just popping up right there. And you're more than welcome to put your trees wherever you'd like. I'm just putting these guys kind of little buddies just hanging out right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and make my leaves starting to come off, these palm leaves. It's almost like an umbrella, and then you start kind of getting creative and having these more of these branches start to come off of this. And they're just spiking right off. I'm going to go ahead and do the same for the other guy. Just kind of exploding like a firework right out of there. So now I've got my two palm trees going. I'm going to go ahead and start adding these little spikes just starting to come right off of here. These are the little palm leaves. And it's very random. Each tree is a little different. But as you can see, just gives a nice bit of texture and realism to these trees. It's starting to, have that cool contrast with the space, the galaxy behind it. And it is starting to come together. And this is why you can see we did the background first, and we started adding all the other stuff a little bit later. And these ones are just coming along just nice. Okay, we got that palm tree just nice and full. We need to do the other one here. And again, you can switch brushes. You can go to your smaller size brush, you can go to your larger one, whatever you start feeling comfortable with. I'd say for the spikes, you probably want to do a smaller brush, a flat brush, and just use that angle to it. But look at the contrast it produces. That space behind is pretty sweet. And there you go. You got your palm trees. Last step. You know what it is. Come on. We sign this thing off. I usually do that. I'm going to do that in the bottom right hand corner here. Boom. 2020. Well, I hope you've enjoyed making this painting as much as I have. Again, it's just a few simple steps, just going through the motions and just figuring out your paints. You can make this happen at your house. Nice and easy. It's a good thing to kind of just get a nice little grasp on how these acrylic paints work. We'll see you at the next show.